Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really fascinating resource you shared, Timothy Ferriss's Tools of Titans. Quite the collection.
It really is. Yeah, it's not just, interviews strung together. It's packed with wisdom from, well, all sorts of high achievers, athletes, entrepreneurs, investors.
A real mix.
Exactly. And our goal here, as I understand it, is to really pull out the most potent insights for you, focusing on that rapid learning and those aha moments you're after.
That's the plan. Yeah, we've gone through the notes covering everyone from like Amelia Boone to Mark Andreessen.
Mm.
We want to find the common ground, maybe some contradictions, and definitely the stuff you can actually use.
Like a playbook distilled down.
Precisely. A shortcut to peak performance, basically.
And it's interesting how it starts, right, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah. That opening message is powerful.
He really pushes back against that whole self-made myth straight away. Talks about his upbringing, no running water, moving to America.
Like almost nothing.
Right. But then he stresses how crucial help and inspiration from others were.
It's a great list of mentors, too. Joe Weider, Nelson Mandela, just all over the map.
It really sets the perfect tone, doesn't it? This idea that standing on the shoulders of giants is key.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's dive into some of the health stuff first. There's
Oh,
a lot there.
definitely. Amelia Boone is a great starting point. Her resilience is just incredible.
Top obstacle course racer.
Yeah, and the mental toughness. Winning a championship just 8 weeks after knee surgery, that's something else.
It really is. Speaks volumes. And that Billboard quote she had.
No one owes you anything.
Yeah, super direct. All about self-reliance.
And beyond the mindset, there are practical tips, too. Like the hydrolyzed gelatin with beetroot powder.
Oh, right, for connective tissue. She mentioned a specific brand.
Great Lakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently avoids that, gummy texture. And the Concept 2 Skierg for low-impact cardio during recovery. Kelly Starrett mentions that, too, I think.
Good point. And even her book choice was kind of out there. House of Leaves.
Yeah, she called it a sensory experience, right?
Yep.
Like you have to physically interact with it, turn it upside down.
Weird. But interesting. Shows an appreciation for more than just, reading words.
I think the big takeaway there is really about mindset overcoming physical limits, that mental grit.
Definitely. Okay, shifting gears a bit, Rhonda Patrick. More fundamental biology.
Exactly. She connects things like vitamin D levels to serotonin production in the brain.
Which affects mood, well-being.
Right. It has implications for mental health, development, really basic but crucial stuff.
And the surprising bit from her section, the baby teeth thing.
Oh, yeah, stem cell banking from
Huh.
baby teeth,
Yeah.
containing dental pulp stem cells. Who knew?
It's one of those unexpected proactive health ideas, isn't it? Makes you think.
So a key point there is maybe looking into vitamin D for both physical and mental health.
Gotcha. Okay, now physical training. Christopher Summer, gymnastics strength coach.
Ah, Coach Summer, very direct. His line, if you want to be a stud later, you have to be a pud now.
Ah, love that. No shortcuts, basically. Confront the weaknesses.
Yeah, he talks about his own struggles, like with shoulder mobility and how fixing those cleared up other long-standing issues. He suggests using something like a functional movement screen first.
To pinpoint where the problems are.
Exactly. And then he gives these pretty intense exercises. The hollow body hold.
Core killer.
Dips with RTO ring turnout.
Right, knuckles facing out at the top. That sounds hard.
It is. And those heel pulses against the wall.
Mm,
Apparently most people can barely do them.
yeah.
Shows how much we compensate.
It's all about that solid foundation, isn't it? Very meticulous.
Definitely. Okay, so from gymnastic strength to metabolic health. Dominic D'Agostino and keto.
Right, the ketogenic diet. This section was a good primer.
Yeah, and it clears up some things like his research showed trained lifters could maintain or even improve strength on a high-fat keto diet. We're talking like 75–80% fat
Wow. And he mentioned ketones being anti-catabolic, so protecting muscle.
and anti-inflammatory, yeah. What stood out to me was his personal story, using keto for his Lyme disease symptoms.
Oh, right. After other treatments didn't work.
Yeah. He's careful, says it's just his experience, but the improvement and mental clarity was significant. Shows potential therapeutic uses, maybe?
And he gives practical tips, too. Fasting strategies like brisk walking and water.
And food choices. Sardines, eggs, olive oil, avocados, whole foods.
Plus supplements like MCT oil powder, bone broth, magnesium.
Right. Tools to help. It's also interesting he's looking into metformin, the diabetes drug,
For anti-aging.
potentially.
Yeah.
His own blood work showed improvements, lower triglycerides, higher HDL, low inflammation markers. though he did note a temporary dip in testosterone.
Interesting trade-off. That leads kind of nicely into Patrick Arnold, the father of pro-hormones.
Yeah, and now he's working on legal ketone supplements, exogenous ketone.
So ketones you drink, basically.
Right. And he sees them not just as a carb replacement, but as actual fuel for keto dieters who feel tired.
Okay. And he mentioned essential amino acids, too, for recovery.
Yeah, so even on keto, those building blocks are still important.
Makes sense. Okay, let's completely shift vibes now. Joe DeSena, Spartan race guy.
Yeah. Extreme endurance. Quite the
Oh.
backstory, moving from Wall Street stress to, well, extreme stress of a different kind.
Creating the death race and Spartan race.
His core belief is just,
Yeah.
it could always be worse.
That's one way to build resilience.
It's about perspective, enduring hardship, not exactly stopping to smell the roses.
Definitely not. Then there's Wim Hof, the Iceman.
Another level of extreme, swimming under ice, all that.
Not for me, thanks.
Me neither. But the book points out the benefits of some cold exposure, like just finishing your shower with cold water.
Right, apparently lots of people in the book do that. Naval Ravikant, Tim Ferriss himself.
It's framed as a practical tool for mental and physical resilience. Builds tolerance, feels invigorating eventually.
Maybe worth a try, unlike swimming under ice.
Agreed. Then there's Acro Yoga with Jason Niemer. Totally different approach to movement.
Yoga, acrobatics, and therapeutics. Tie and fly, he called it.
Yeah. And the benefits go beyond just physical. That sensory connection, trust with a partner, laughter. It's very holistic.
He mentioned specific poses, too. Folded leaf, hippie twist.
Yeah. As starting points. Sounds intriguing.
Okay, back to the more data-driven side. Peter Attia.
Right. Very focused on self-quantification. He did 3 years of nutritional ketosis.
3 years, and still does weekly fasting. That's commitment.
Definitely. And his specific exercises, like the reverse thigh master for the glute medius, it's about targeting those specific weaknesses.
Even if the exercises look weird.
Exactly. And his recommended blood tests, APOE genotype, fasting glucose, insulin response, HbA1c, IGF-1, it's about proactive monitoring.
Aiming to prevent the big chronic diseases.
Yeah, but he also warns about, potential issues starting keto and not relying on single test results. Context is key.
And his big 4 diseases, reminder heart, cerebrovascular cancer, neurodegenerative being the main risks after 40. Sobering.
Very. Okay, strength training again, Charles Poliquin.
Very direct guy. His benchmark for a good coach, getting women to do 12 chin-ups in 12 weeks.
Specific. And his breakfast, wild meat, nuts, berries, very paleo, nutrient dense.
He had some specific supplement recs too, right? Gotu cola.
Yeah, for tendons and cognitive function. And magnesium for HbA1c levels.
And he was big on the front squat for athletes.
Over the back squat, yeah. Clear preference.
Then Pavel Tsatsouline introduced the slow-carb diet.
Right. Simple rules, avoid white carbs, eat protein, beans, veg, have a cheat day. Pretty straightforward.
And his training principles, grease the groove.
Yeah, for skill acquisition, frequent low-intensity practice, and emphasizing core tension and strength work. Very effective methods.
Gotcha. Now, the Laird Hamilton, Gabby Reese, Brian McKenzie section, that was interesting. Integrated fitness and mindset.
Yeah, that warm-up for tough guys concept, intense physical stuff mixed with humility.
And their coffee mix. And the Man Book Club. Little cultural details.
Gabby's go-first idea, Laird saying stop drinking and patent your ideas. Life lessons beyond fitness.
True. And their focus on fixing imbalances, inclusive parenting, lots there.
Okay, now for something completely different. James Fadiman and psychedelic research.
Yeah, that was thought-provoking. Using psychedelics for problem-solving, higher patent rates in studies.
It's definitely unconventional. And his personal insight that Jim Fadiman is just a subset of me suggests deeper self-understanding.
But he really stressed preparation and integration, right?
Absolutely crucial. Which leads into Martin Polanco and Dan Engel.
Flotation tanks and ayahuasca.
Yeah, flotation as a sort of psychedelic space for self-connection. And ayahuasca for potentially deep psychological healing, maybe even pre-memory trauma.
Definitely tools requiring careful consideration.
Very careful. Okay, back to the physical Kelly Starrett. Mobility and recovery.
Big on hydration, right? With salt.
Yeah, especially for endurance, often overlooked. And his mattress checklist for sleep quality.
Practical stuff, like the walking Spider-Man for hips.
And smashing the gut with a med ball for better sleep. That sounds intense.
A bit. And the pulse oximeter guidelines for exertion levels. Simple metric.
Even Triple H Paul Levesque offers insights. Late-night workouts, that keto frappuccino dedication.
And that distinction from Evander Holyfield's coach, dream versus goal.
Powerful mindset shift, applicable anywhere.
Then Adam Ghazali, brain training with video games.
Yeah, therapeutic games, focus strategies, very relevant now. And his sleep tips were interesting too. Acrobasing.
Partner acrobatics, yeah. Plus foam rolling, chilipads, sleepy tea, magnesium, a whole toolkit.
It is. Finally, those 5 morning rituals, lots of actionable ideas there.
Making the bed, controlling the controllable, the 5-minute journal for gratitude.
Meditation options, Headspace, Calm Sam Harris, and Meng's Simple Loving Kindness meditation.
Just wishing others well. Nice. And Coach Summers' single decision idea for focus.
Yeah, deciding once instead of over and over. Powerful.
Phew. Okay, that was a ton on health. Ready to switch to wealth?
So let's do it. Chris Sackus starts that section off with a pretty unique style.
Moving to Truckee, away from the Silicon Valley bubble.
Yeah, focusing on relationships differently. And his advice to just be your unapologetically weird self. Authenticity as a strategy.
I like that. And the offense versus defense framework for challenges. Useful.
Very. And the mullet wigs for parties. Memorable, if nothing else.
Definitely. Okay, Mark Andreessen, Silicon Valley giant.
Speed is key for him, right? Ship.
Mm-hmm. And stress testing ideas with a red team.
Yeah.
Trying to break them yourself.
Smart. Plus that always forward mentality like Joe Pike. Don't dwell on the past.
He also talked about studying both tech and value investors, finding the overlaps.
A broad learning approach. His warning about billionaires getting isolated from criticism was interesting too.
Yeah, a potential blind spot. And the Peter Lynch quote about timing the market. Timeless.
So true. Ben Arnold again, but as an entrepreneur.
The bricklaying business with Franco Colombo.
Yeah, leveraging their European image, the good cop, bad cop thing. Very resourceful.
And just that intense focus on winning and not just playing.
That's core Arnold, isn't it? Then Derek Sievers, CD Baby founder. Very different vibe.
Independent thinker. Building the business just to make people smile.
Love that mission. And the pricing example, the $35 fee with the discount buffer. Clever.
Very. And his philosophy of just creating your own rules for your business. Empowered.
That famous automated email mentioning the private CD Baby jet. Small touches, big impact.
Totally. Okay, Alexis Ohanian from Reddit. Surprisingly relatable.
Yeah, admitting to inconsistency, neurotic tendencies, his superpower.
Makes success seem a bit more achievable for the rest of us. And his 8-step process for getting stuff done despite procrastination.
Super concrete, very helpful for people who aren't naturally wired for perfect efficiency. And that 1 hour before screen time rule. Good boundary.
Definitely need that. Matt Mullenweg, WordPress founder.
Known for being calm under pressure.
Yeah.
His advice, ignore people who aren't your customers. Focus.
Smart. And his hiring process for Automatic, emphasizing writing and passion for remote work. Good insights there.
Okay, Tony Robbins, peak performance strategies.
Big on anticipating, not just reacting, and action over just knowing stuff.
Crucial distinction. His story about the Jim Rohn seminar being his best investment.
And Warren Buffett saying the same about Dale Carnegie. Invest in yourself.
Absolutely. His belief about the quality of your life depending on the quality of your questions.
And the state story I strategy framework. Very powerful.
Plus his morning priming routine, the 3 to Thrive,
Yeah.
actionable stuff, and his points on asymmetrical risk-reward in investing. Important.
Casey Neistat next, the filmmaker. Drawing inspiration from WWII.
Yeah, for work ethic. And his philosophy. Once you get fancy, fancy gets broken, keep it practical.
Grounded. His story about how Super Size Me came about just from observing McDonald's.
Seeing opportunities in the everyday, and that Kanye anecdote, the giant picture of himself.
To cheer for himself first. Intense self-belief.
Wild. But his point about story trumping cinematography, key for creators.
So true. Morgan Spurlock focusing on impact.
Yeah, his use of the 80-20 rule combined with what's easy, prioritize high-impact, doable tasks.
Smart productivity hack. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn co-founder, strategic thinking.
That habit of giving his mind an overnight task, leveraging the subconscious.
Clever.
And the foot faults idea, allowing small mistakes for speed.
Yeah, balancing caution and agility. Useful in decision-making.
His advice on vetting A players, do they challenge strategy? Really key for team building.
Absolutely. And revisiting Thiel's question. What 10-year plan can be done in 6 months? Radical thinking.
Pushes boundaries. His view on failure being complex, not always offering clear lessons, nuanced.
Yeah, not always a simple takeaway. Then Peter Thiel himself, contrarian views.
Questioning college for everyone, focusing on unconventional truths.
Right. Challenging convention versus truth, and his famous interview questions looking for original thinkers.
Tell me something true that few people agree on. Classic deal.
Seth Godin. Marketing guru, but lots of life wisdom, too.
Money is a story, telling a story you're happy with. I like that framing.
Me too. And his point about needing lots of bad ideas to get to the good ones.
Yeah.
Counterintuitive, but true. Takes the pressure off. And tracking the right things, risks taken, positive impact to shape your narrative.
That's about growth.
Yeah.
His critique of education valuing saying over knowing,
Yeah.
insightful. And his belief that people are plastic, capable of change, encouraging.
Definitely. James Altucher next, idea generation focus.
Yeah, his coffee ritual, valuing manual processes to appreciate the craft. Mindful engagement.
And the 10 good ideas or 20 bad ideas mantra.
Yeah.
Just generate.
Exactly. His indefinite startup vacation idea came from a bad ideas list. Shows the power of lowering the bar during brainstorming.
Love that. His framework for angel investing, learning, risk management, setting criteria, practical advice.
And seeing blogging as practicing writing, not just an end goal. Skill development mindset. His hypothesis on affirmations focusing the mind. Interesting potential mechanism.
Wow. Okay, so pulling it all together.
Yeah.
What are the big takeaways, especially for someone wanting efficient learning and those aha moments?
Well, several themes really jump out, don't they? First, this constant drumbeat about identifying and really working on your weaknesses. Summer hammered that home.
Yeah, that came up a lot. And the whole keto fasting angle from D'Agostino and Attia seems like a potent area.
Definitely potential there.
Yeah.
Then there's the huge emphasis on mindset reframing challenges.
Yeah.
The power of belief. You see that with Schwarzenegger, DeSena, Robbins.
True. And just continuous learning from everywhere, like Andreessen and Godin advocate. Don't stay in one lane.
Exactly. Plus, the focus on action and building systems, not just having goals. That was clear from Sievers and Ohanian.
Taking steps, building routines, and finally, that thread of self-awareness and unconventional thinking feel, Saka really hitting that aha moment goal.
So for actionable steps,
Mm-hmm.
maybe just pick one or two things that really resonated. Try the cold shower finish. Do one of Summer's exercises.
Or just sit with Teal's question about unconventional truths for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Start small, experiment.
Okay, so final provocative thought then. Given all this, what widely accepted truth in your own world, maybe your job or just life, might actually be holding you back? What convention needs questioning?
Ooh, that's a good one to chew on. And really, this deep dive just scratches the surface, right? Tools of Titans is dense.
Incredibly dense.
Yeah.
Definitely worth revisiting with these ideas in mind, seeing what else pops out.
For sure. Are there any other areas in the book you're curious about exploring next time?